Okay, so we are here live on the road, and if you have been seeing the news, we have a lot of wildfires here in Oregon. So with the heat increasing and the wildfire smoke finally reaching our house, we've decided to go on a little trip towards the Oregon coast, in the coast, right before you get to the coastal range, but far enough to where it's a little cooler and we have some AC. So that's what we're doing on the road. So unfortunately, it's just too hot to be camping right now, and there are just too many fires in the places where I camp. So that's why we're here in a hotel, just trying to stay cool and stay out of the really poor quality air that we have going on right now. So if you're joining us live, just say hello in the chat. Let me know that you're here. And let's see here. Just go ahead and welcome everyone here in the chat. Anyways, we have a lot of smoke. I can see the coastal mountains here. I'll show you a little view of where I'm at. I'm just going to take this off. And I don't know if you can see, but those mountains are the very start of the coastal mountains, and there's just a haze out there. So we're just trying to stay cool. If you're not familiar with Oregon, a lot of the older construction builds don't have AC. Let me get this. So it's hard to stay warm or to stay cool in the summer. So hopefully that got that straight. So we have a portable AC in our condo, but sometimes it just can't keep up because it's just so warm. So the joke is 20 years ago when I first moved to Oregon, that when it would get hot, people would just go to a hotel for a night or two. And so that's what we're doing. We're just here at a hotel for a few days. Let me see if I can fix this camera a little bit. Okay. Anyways, if you're here and if you're new, welcome. My name is Tori. I live here in Oregon. And if you're not new, welcome back. I don't know if you caught my last 3-night camping trip, but I went camping in the Gifford Pinchot National Forest up in Washington. And it was hot, that trip. And the first night we were at... when I say we, I mean I was at my favorite campground up in Washington called Beaver Campground. And it's in Bigfoot country and bear country. And so while I was there, I tested a new radar system. I'll show you here. Because I'm on my journey to go from campgrounds to dispersed camping. And I'm a little nervous because I camp in a tent. And so going into bear country and Bigfoot country, it's just makes me a little nervous. So I tested out this radar system. It kind of detects if something enters your perimeter of your camp, depending on where your perimeter is set. And so this was kind of cool. That's what I did on my first night. That proved to be a pretty cool addition to my camping gear. So I'm excited to use that in my next dispersed camping spot, or my very first dispersed camping spot. And then on the second night, the second day, we went exploring for dispersed campsites. And so I had you guys choose your favorite dispersed camp spot. And so far the clear winner is number 5. So if I'm brave enough, I will go camp there for my first time. And then on the third night, I went to a brand new campground, and it's located next to a creek in an old growth forest. And the trees there were just awesome. They were so huge and so old, and it was just such a beautiful beautiful campgrounds. So if you haven't seen those videos, or if you've missed one or two of them, I have links down in the description. So anyway, do we have anyone here in the chat that wants to say hi? Anyone? Okay, I'm gonna get my... I just learned today that the wilderness that's right next to where I camped on that 3-night trip has a big fire there going on right now. And I think they closed part of the national forest so they could help just get that fire under control. So that's kind of scary. There's some cool campgrounds in that area. So hopefully they are protected from the wildfires. Hello, Tranquil 555. Welcome to the live stream. I've got my phone here so I can kind of check on the chat. Let's see. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. Let's see here. And where are you from? If you're kind of just getting here in the live stream, I'm going to show you. I'm in a hotel right now. We're just trying to stay out of the heat and the wildfire smoke. So I'm going to show you, get my camera here. This is the view. Oops. So I don't know if you can see those mountains out there. Well, that's the coastal range, and there's just a haze. It's actually way better today than it was yesterday. But back where I'm from, just outside of Portland, it's really smoky and a lot warmer. And like I was mentioning earlier, a lot of the old construction, we don't have AC units. We don't have central AC, so when it gets really, really hot, it's just unbearable sometimes. So, oh, you're from Louisiana. Oh, I've been there once. I went to New Orleans, I would say probably 30 years ago for a wedding. And it was beautiful. Very, very hot. So I was just chatting about my last camping trip. Actually, my last camping trip was that 3-night trip up in Washington, up in Bigfoot country. And I haven't camped since because it's been so warm. And I had plans to go to Mount Hood National Forest to go camping last month. But you might have heard that there's a huge fire just, I want to say east of Mount Hood. I think it's the grasshopper fire. So that kind of put a little issue with the whole camping plans. And then anything on the Oregon coast right now is just jam-packed with people, and it's hard to find a camping spot, or at least a good camping spot on the coast. So I've just been kind of hanging out and trying to stay cool, and hopefully I would say in the next few weeks, if it kind of cools down a little bit, I'll try to find a camp spot somewhere in the coastal range, kind of like where you see out here, but up north a little bit, on the way to Tillamook. So, oh, hi, Broken Timber. I remember you from a while back. Yeah, your channel exploded, didn't it? You had a video go pretty crazy, and you got your 1,000 subscribers just quickly, didn't you? Welcome. Hi, do you pronounce it Declan? Declan? From Ireland. What prompted you to record your camping, and have you ever had a good night's sleep camping? You said you don't get much, but you don't mind. You know, I've had a few good nights of sleep, mainly because I hadn't slept the night before. So of course, when you're tired, when you go to bed from the night before, you sleep pretty good. But I don't really sleep very well anyway. Just having to get up in the middle of the night and go to the bathroom, and you know, when you get older, sleeping just becomes a little more, I guess, interrupted. So, but the reason why I started this YouTube channel and decided to do camping was because I went to Iceland on a 2-day stopover a couple years ago, and I thought, wow, I don't need to go to Iceland to see beautiful things because I live in Oregon. And so I started recording my camping videos because I wanted to hold myself accountable to go out there and actually explore my own state. I mean, I've lived here 20 years now, and I just noticed that I hadn't really, I mean, I had seen parts of the state, but I hadn't really gone out and explored. So, and I've been camping, my entire life, but I hadn't camped at that point for probably, I would say 10 years. And I didn't have anyone to go with. My partner didn't want to go. And so I just decided to go. And so that's how the channel started. So congrats, Broken Timber, on your 2.54 thousand subs. That is awesome. Broken Timber, remind me how old you are, because you're pretty young, I think. I think your dad also has a channel, and I think maybe your brother too, doesn't he? Yeah, everyone go check out Broken Timber's channel. I think the video that you filmed that broke out was, you were hunting something. What was that? Remind us. Oh, Tranquil, you have a channel of almost 11,000 subscribers? That's pretty cool. Congratulations. I'm actually, I think as of today, I was 805 subscribers, so I'm on my way to 1,000. So if you are here, oh yeah, chipmunks, that's right. Broken Timber, it was chipmunks. I think it was a catch and cook, wasn't it? Which I thought was kind of interesting because I had a chipmunk in my last camping video. He was harassing me because I had some really good snacks and he was trying to get into them. So I thought that was kind of funny. Oh, so you're 12, almost 13. Oh, I thought your brother had a channel too. Well, that's cool that you got over 1,000 subscribers. Broken Timber, did you get your watch hours too? I'm guessing so, since you had that one video go kind of viral. So Tranquil, what kind of channel do you have? So if you're here and you're not subscribed, why don't you hit that subscribe button so we can get to 1,000. And also while you're here, just like our live stream too. I'd really appreciate it. Oh, cool, you're monetized. That's awesome, congratulations. That's an exciting next step in your YouTube journey. Are you getting any brand sponsors? Because that would be, I think, another great way to monetize your platform. Is anybody here new for the first time? Are you just joining us for the first time? Just let me know down in the comments if you're new here or if you've been here before. Oops, I accidentally exited my chat. Hopefully it's still there. Drop a hello in the comments if this live stream's still going. I think it is. Broken Timber, remind me where you're from. I think, I want to say it's the south somewhere, isn't it? Okay, let's see. My chat finally came back up. Let's see here. So, Tranquil, you do cats in nature, sunrises, and sunset videos. I go for walks with my cat. Oh, that is really cool. So, Joseph, this is your first time seeing my live chat. Have you seen any of my videos? Or this is your first time, period? Oh, no apologies, Broken Timber. No, I love seeing other creators and just talking about your channels. I think it's cool. Hi, Adventure Camper. Welcome. Yeah, for those who are just coming in for the first time just now, I'm in a hotel just outside of Portland, Oregon. I'm about 30 minutes from the Oregon coast. The Oregon coast right now, the hotels, they're just crazy expensive. So we're staying just right before you get to the Oregon, the coastal range, because it's a little bit cooler here. But the most important thing is there's AC. So we're just here getting out of the heat and getting out of the wildfire smoke. So I thought, well, I got a great opportunity with some Wi-Fi in a different location other than, my boring house to have a live stream. So Broken Timber, do I make my thumbnails on Canva? I do. I've been using Canva for probably right when they first started the actual platform, which was a long time ago. And they've come a long way. So it's a great tool for the YouTube videos. Adventure Camper, are you here for the first time? Because your name looks familiar. Juanita, hi. You're watching from Canada. Welcome. Joseph, are the waves not calling you for a swim? Well, I just checked the weather for the coast tomorrow, the particular part of the coast I want to go to. And it's going to be foggy in the morning and 64 as a high. And I brought a sweatshirt, but my partner, he, for some reason, thought I was going to be in the 80s at the coast, which it's going to be in the 80s up north. But it's going to be kind of cold, so we may or may not go to the coast tomorrow. But it's okay if we don't go because the coast is only like an hour and a half away from where I live, so. Adventure Camper, yes, I think that's where I remember your name, but I can't remember your first name. I don't know if you gave me your first name the last time. Yeah, my last live stream which was my first live stream, was at camp up in the Tillamook area, and that was pretty fun. That's probably the only campground that I go to that has Wi-Fi, or not Wi-Fi, but that has an internet connection. So I was able to stream there, but I think they are closed either as of the 1st of August or sometime this month. So unfortunately, I won't be able to go there, which I'm kind of sad about because it's my favorite campground. And even if it was in the 80s at the coast, the water is way, way too cold to go swimming. So I don't even put my feet in the water anymore because it's just too cold. So Norland, that's right. Okay, thank you for reminding me. It's hard. It's, when you get older, your brain stops working as well, and your memory starts kind of going downhill. So I'll just have to remember that Adventure Camper is Norland. And you, I think, I can't remember if you're the Pacific Northwest or somewhere else. Just remind me where you were. And where is everybody else from? Let's see. Joseph, what time is it in Ireland right now, where you're at? So Juanita asks, have you always done tent camping or ever car camping or trailer? I should have brought my glasses because I can't see. I've always done tent camping. My car isn't really conducive to car camping, like in the actual car, because it's just a 4-door sedan, so I haven't done that. I've actually done trailer camping and RV camping. Okay, so I've done a little more than just tent camping. My parents have an RV. My parents have a boat, so I've camped on the boat. My brother has a trailer, so I've camped with them at Cannon Beach in the trailer. So yeah, I've done a little variety of camping, but mostly tent camping. Joseph, Tori, do you ever take a look at the stars, or what are your favorite moments about camping? You mentioned birdsong from a couple of the videos I've seen. I do look at the stars when it's dark, usually in the fall and winter time. In the summer, it doesn't get dark until probably way after 10 o'clock, and I'm usually in the tent by then. So, so when you see like time lapses that I do, that's usually in the later part of the year. I need to practice more on those because there's different settings I can do to have a different type of time lapse of the stars. And I do have a telescope that I want to bring on my next trip when it gets a little later in the year. And my favorite moments about camping, probably just being out by myself, number one, because it's nice to have some solitude and peace and quiet, and being out in nature and just exploring new areas. Like the last camping trip that I did for the 3 nights in Washington, that third night at Paradise Creek Campground, that was an old growth forest, and the forest was so beautiful. Like I was awestruck when I first pulled up to my campsite because the trees were so huge and old. And so I loved just being surrounded by trees that have been there for who knows how long, hundreds of years at least, at the very minimum. So just being in nature, being by myself. And I love the bird song too. My very first camp trip on this channel, there was a woodpecker. Now, obviously they weren't singing, they were just pecking at the wood, but that was my first woodpecker that I had actually seen live. So that was kind of cool. Okay, Norland, you're from Oregon. Okay. See, I thought you were from the Pacific Northwest. So Broken Timber, well, I'm glad I could make it, but I've got to go now. Thanks for your support. Good luck with 1K. Thank you so much, Broken Timber. I appreciate it. And good luck with your channel. I'm so excited for you for hitting that milestone of 1,000, then hitting your 2,000 and then beyond. That's pretty cool. So Joseph, you're in Dublin, Ireland, East Coast. Okay. I went to Ireland 2 years ago on that same trip when I was in Iceland. It was my stopover. I was in Dublin I think it was just for the afternoon on the way there, and then on the way back I was there for a couple days just so I could get my plane ride home. And it was so pretty. I love Dublin. I stayed in Temple Bar, and it was just beautiful. I know it's kind of a touristy area, but you know, I was a tourist, so you have a very beautiful city. And oh, so you're working security in Dublin. It's 1:30 a.m. That's crazy. And Juanita says, I did a road trip through Oregon a few years ago. We did a whale watching excursion. Very cool to see them. Yeah. You know, I've never seen the whales off the coast here in Oregon. I don't think. The only time I've ever seen whales was in Hawaii, and that was pretty cool. But that would be kind of cool to go. I'm assuming you went out on a boat far out there to see the whales, right? I'm guessing that's probably the only way you'd see them, unless you were out just on the shore. Joseph, glad you enjoyed Temple Bar, Ireland. Oh, it was so pretty. I had like one solid day in Dublin to explore, and it rained. But I didn't mind because, you know, I'm used to the rain here in Oregon. But it was just beautiful. And I stayed at the hotel. What was that hotel? It's the hotel right across from the Christ Church. And it has Darky Kelly's down in the bottom floor. Is it the Harding Hotel? That was such a cool place to stay. Oops, my water bottle just fell. Let's see here. Yeah, I would love to go back to Ireland. It's just awesome. People are so friendly and has anybody else been to Oregon before? Besides Norland, who's already living in Oregon? And Juanita, you were here. What part of the coast did you come to, Juanita, when you were here? Joseph says, well, look me up if you do. I will do that. I don't know if I will be going to Ireland anytime soon, but if I do, I will. Yeah, I found it really easy to get around in Ireland. Transportation was pretty good. I just took that bus line that runs from the airport down to Temple Bar, so it was very easy. Oh, I had my first Guinness when I was in Dublin. I'm not like much of a beer drinker, but of course when you're in Ireland you have to try Guinness. And it was actually pretty good. And I had the Irish beef stew, I think it was Irish beef stew, down at Darky Kelly's at the bar. Because when you go out and you're traveling by yourself, sometimes it's a little weird sitting at a restaurant, eating by yourself, but sitting at the bar, you automatically have a bartender to talk to you, so it's not as nerve-wracking. So those who are here that have been here before, did you guys watch my 3-part series in Bigfoot country? I'm just curious. And if you did you vote on your favorite dispersed campsite that I think I had 5 sites. Most of them were near a creek or close to a creek. Just curious if you guys saw that episode. Joseph, phones help for something to look at when dining alone in a restaurant. Yes, that's very true. I had my phone with me for sure. Because you can watch videos, you can just read, you can just pretend that you're busy. I don't know. But yeah, but the more you do things by yourself, the easier it gets. Because I was in Europe for two weeks during that trip, and the more I got out into the restaurants and had dinner by myself, the easier it got. So Joseph, I don't know if I've seen your 3-part series. I've seen 2. Yeah, the last 3 camping videos were part of the same camp trip. First night was testing out my security alarm. Second night was the dispersed campsite scouting, and the third night was in that old growth forest. And I have all the links down below if you guys missed any of them, or if you want to watch them again, feel free to watch them as many times as you like. And then the woodpecker one, that was my very first, well, actually I think I've had 2 videos with woodpeckers, but my very first camp video was at Beverly Beach on the Oregon coast. That's a little south of where I'd normally camp, and there was a woodpecker pecking on the wood, and I'm like, what the heck is that noise? Like, it sounds like a woodpecker, but I don't think I've ever had seen a woodpecker in real life before. And he was jumping on the side of my car door, which is so weird. He was like hanging on the door somehow. It was very odd. So I don't know why he was doing that, but I kind of scared him off, and then he went into the tree and started pecking on the tree. That was just a very interesting. And then I had another woodpecker, I think it was in Washington at my favorite campground last fall, I think. Because normally that campground is really quiet. There's not a lot of bird activity. And I think, don't quote me, but I think it's because Bigfoot's in the area. I don't know if you believe, but they say when forests are quiet, that's possibly because there is something out there. So, but I did hear that woodpecker that one morning. And I think that was the only bird that I really heard, so. Oh, Joseph, so was that you that was commenting on that video about the 2 worlds collide? That was that was the Beverly Beach. That was the woodpecker incident. It was a pretty cool bird. So, send in a comment, you responded to that with what comes across in the videos is the effort you make with cooking and equipment, and you're good-tempered, and you seem to like all the little challenges that crop up. When you're out there, you kind of just have to go with the flow, and if something comes up that doesn't work out just right, Sure, you can be frustrated. If you can fix it, you fix it. If you can't, you just go with it and got to pivot or whatever. So yeah, it's interesting. I wanted to go back to Beverly Beach as my 1 year anniversary of camping, but I just never could get around to it because I was trying to get to my favorite campground in Tillamook, that Cape Lookout, because they were supposed to be closing. They were supposed to be closing every month since like last summer. So I think they finally closed for repairs and upgrades. So I couldn't get back to Beverly Beach. And then in the summertime, Beverly Beach is just way too booked. There's no way to get a good spot. And there's a lot of camper trailers there. So I don't know. I'll usually go to places that are a little less busy. And that's usually not in the summertime. It's usually in the spring, like before the school kids come out for their spring break, or in the fall or winter. So Joseph, I agree that I think it's part of doing things alone. You rely on your own store of good cheer. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can get upset or angry, frustrated at, what's happening if something doesn't go right, but life's too short. Just gotta make do with what you got, and you're the only person there to try to figure things out, and so you just gotta figure it out. I mean, that happened to me one time when I was doing my day trip. It's the thumbnail on my video that says I'm pretending. And I went out to a dispersed campsite that I really like out in the forest. And I ran out of fuel. So had I not made my coffee that afternoon, I would have had enough fuel to boil my water for my backpacking meal. But I had crunchy. The rice wasn't crunchy, but the beef was crunchy. So you just go with the flow, and at least I had something to eat. So Joseph, do you do much camping in Ireland? I know you have a lot of beautiful hills and landscape, but I don't know, is camping common there? I wouldn't even know. I follow a gal, I think her name is Wild Bear. Her real name's Claire, but I think she's in somewhere. I think she's in England. Anyway, she does a lot of camping, so I'm sure camping is popular there. You started last year camping. Are you tent camping, or are you like camping under the stars, like cowboy camping? What kind of camping are you doing? And then Joseph says, I haven't gone this year, though I bought new camping equipment. And what kind of equipment did you buy? Did you get a new tent? New sleeping bag? Oh, under the stars. Yeah, I love seeing the stars at night. It seems like some of the campsites I go to have a lot of trees, so it's kind of hard to see the stars sometimes. So when I go to like Cape Lookout, for instance, I try to find campsites that have a little bit of clearing over the head, because it's just easier to see the stars that way. Let's see. So you're under the stars. You got a big new bag, like a new sleeping bag. Oh, you got a mattress to keep warm. And then you made some rookie errors the first 2 times. So you sleep on a mattress in your sleeping bag on the ground. So you don't sleep in a tent at all. Or do you sleep in a tent? Who else here camps? Or are you just vicariously camping through me? And if you're camping, what kind of camping are you doing? Is it tent camping? Are you under the stars? What were your rookie errors that you made, Joseph? I think glimpsing the stars through the trees has its own charm. It definitely has its own charm. I mean, the trees definitely frame the sky Kind of cool. So you do a lot of long hikes. Cool. So camping was a way of not having to go back. Okay, so you have a sleeping bag with no mattress, with no under mattress. Oh yeah. You know, if you have a blow-up mattress, I hear they don't keep you warm either sometimes if you're on the ground. I mean, once I graduated to a cot that's up, 15 inches off the ground, that's when I started sleeping warm. Because my very first camp at Beverly Beach, I was on like a 4-inch sleeping pad. I don't even know why I did a sleeping pad. That was the stupidest thing I ever did because number one, it's on the ground. And number two, it's hard to get off the ground when you get older. If I was like 30 years old, that would probably be not a problem at all. But so it's so hard to get up. And I was cold and it was uncomfortable. And then I graduated to a 10-inch mattress. And that's what I had been camping on, when I'd go camping with my family. And so I was used to that, but that was also 10 years ago. And so that was kind of hard to get up because, you get old, you have bad knees and bad hips. And so when I finally got to the cot, I thought, finally, I'm off the ground. I'm sleeping warm. I can get up easily because I have to get up and go to the bathroom at night. So yeah, you have to go through a couple trial and errors when you're camping or getting your gear. So that was not a super expensive trial and error session, but I would have liked to have started with the cot from the very beginning. So no pillow, Joseph. Well, that's pretty brave. You should try a pillow sometime and see how it goes. They have those camping pillows that blow up. They're not the most comfortable, but they're easy to store. So Juanita says, I've started some car camping trips. I love it. It's definitely cozy, but it feels safe and cheaper than hotels or even campgrounds. I agree about feeling safe. If I had a car that I could camp in easily, like if I had an SUV or a hatchback, I would be out there dispersed camping in a heartbeat. But being in a tent on the ground, just a nylon tent, you're just a little more vulnerable. And so, there's people out there that are kind of strange, and there's animals out there like bears, like where I want to go camp. Well, actually anywhere that I camp is fairly possible that it's bear country. If it's a crowded campground, it's most likely they're not going to be in the campground. But, if I want to go dispersed camp, it's going to be bear and cat country. So being in a tent is what is stopping me right now from doing that. So I would love to have an SUV. So that's great, Juanita, that you have that to camp in. In Norland, you do SUV camping. That's cool. Joseph, you bought a pillow, but you don't like using it, or do you just prefer not having it? I don't know if you guys were here earlier, but in my first night on my 3-night trip, I tested a security alarm. And so this is what I'm going to use when I go dispersed camping, because I am kind of just afraid a little bit of the bears situation in Washington. But this is the radar system that I'm going to be using, and it makes a loud sound when something enters your camp. I think the range on this was either 17 feet or you could make it 50 feet. So this is going to be interesting to use when I go dispersed camping for the first time. It'll just help me feel a little more safe, I guess, or it'll give me some time to at least get my bear spray out if there's a visitor that I don't want in my camp. So I'm excited about using this alarm system. And if you're looking for an alarm system, by the way, I do have a link and a discount code down below. So I'm pretty excited about this because, if I had somebody that I was with, it wouldn't be as terrifying to go out into the wilderness by myself. So that alarm system will be like my other person, I guess. So Joseph says, haha, no, I said I made some rookie errors. So buy a pillow was what I've learned I need to do. Okay. So I see you didn't go. So when you went camping, you didn't have a pillow to begin with. Yeah, that wouldn't be very comfortable not having a pillow. No, Juanita says, I saw those being used up in Alaska. Oh, you saw the alarms in Alaska? Is that what you're referring to? Hi, Ashley. Everyone say hi to Ashley. Stealth Camp Sweethearts. I appreciate you being here, stopping by. We're just talking about camping and what kind of camping we like doing. And everybody, Ashley, the Stealth Camp Sweethearts, she and her husband do stealth camping. I think you guys are in Tennessee, right? Anyways, their channel is so freaking hilarious. You have to go check them out. Ashley, if you want to drop a link in the chat, that's cool. Anyways, they have a skit for each of their camp videos, and it's just so funny. And the last camp video that you guys posted this week, your husband, well, it wasn't your husband, right? It was the scary guy with the glowing eyes. Yeah, that was so funny. And I thought you did a great job, Ashley, by the way, with, Alabama, okay. But you're wearing the Tennessee hat, right? Is that what you're wearing? Is that why I always thought it was Tennessee? Pretty sure that's a Tennessee hat. Oh, by the way, Ashley, your mom looks just like you. Or you look just like your mom. You guys are twins. So happy birthday to Ashley's mom. She got a birthday just recently. Let's see here. Yes. Oh, your town is split. Half is in Tennessee. Ashley, I'm going to add you as a moderator. Juanita, your photography and videography is amazing. So creative and quality. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It's a work in progress. I took photography in high school back in the day when you would actually develop your own film. That is so crazy. That was a long time ago. I used to do black and white, and then I would actually go into our dark room in school and make my prints from my film. So that was a long time ago. Yeah, I'm hoping to improve my drone skills. It's a little nerve-wracking being up in the trees because you got to get way up there so your drone doesn't hit anything. And so I'm just trying to kind of practice my drone moves a little bit so it's not just, going straight across the screen or up. I'm trying to get a little bit of movement. So if you saw my last video where I was in the old growth forest, I try to have a little bit of movement on my drone when I was going down towards my campsite. So trying to slowly expand my drone photography. So Juanita, do you actually go camping just where you live, or do you travel a little bit in your SUV to camp? And Ashley, where do you guys have a stealth camp coming up? Did you find a spot? I think this last time you didn't have a spot, so you just camped by the river or by the lake? Do we have anybody new in the chat that just entered? If so, say hello. Tell us where you're from. Oh, cool. You found a very cool spot. And Ashley, do you guys plan out your skits in advance, or do you just kind of go camping and figure out what you're going to do? I'm guessing you plan out because you do have some costumes. So Ashley says that it's an old cabin and has lots of crazy history. Cool. Now, are you camping inside the cabin or just kind of near the cabin? So you grab a costume and wing it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I wish I could just wing it. I feel like I have to plan everything in advance, or else I just don't do a very good job. If you just joined us, I'm at a hotel. We're escaping the heat and the wildfire smoke back home. So we're about a half hour from the Oregon coast. We didn't go all the way to the coast because the hotel rooms are like $300, $400 a night. So that's just a little too much for 3 nights. So we're just here right before you get to the coastal range. There's some places you can stay for a lot less money. So Stealth Camp Sweetheart says yes inside, but Michael made us put up a tent inside because he's scared of spiders. Oh, is that what you guys are talking about? Or maybe that was another camping video you guys were talking about, it having a tent in the actual structure. No, that wasn't a cabin. That when you were talking about it, that was something else. I forget what that was. Yeah, I would probably put a tent up too if there were a lot of spiders, because I don't like spiders. But it seems like spiders always find their way into your tent anyways, it seems like. Juanita, I mostly travel through the US when I SUV camp. It's not as easy to stealth camp in Canada. We do have Crown land, but BLM is better in the US and warmer in the winter. Oh yeah, I bet it is warmer. Yeah, but you have some beautiful camping up in Canada. I've seen a couple people go to like, is it Banff? You can camp in Banff area. There's some campgrounds up there. And I also watch this lady, maybe some of you guys have heard of her, Wendy Outdoors. She lives in BC. I think she lives on Vancouver Island. Anyway, she actually is in her 70s and she canoes. She will go to a lake and canoe to her campsite. It's so cool. Such an inspiration to see somebody in her 70s go out there and take the canoe off her vehicle by herself and go canoe. That is just awesome. And then Juanita, what is your favorite area in the US to go camp at? And Ashley says, yes, we did that on our very first camp. That's what it was, your very first camp. It was inside a concession stand. Yeah, I would probably pitch my tent inside of a structure too that had lots of spiders. That would be kind of freaky. Oh, so you watch Wendy Outdoors too, Juanita? Yeah, she's very, very incredible. Yeah, she gave me a lot of inspiration when I first started camping. I thought, well, if Wendy can go out here by herself and do all the things that she does, I mean, she hikes to her camp spots. I mean, if she can do it at 70, then what is my excuse? So I'm just getting out there and doing it. Oh, do you watch her too, Ashley? She's just cool. I remember when her channel was probably, I would say 25,000 subscribers. She's got like over 500,000 now. That's just crazy to me. I think she just kind of blew up in the last year. It seems like. So. And then Ashley, you guys are heading to your 1,000 subscribers here pretty soon. That's exciting. Now, Juanita, do you have a channel or do you just hang out on YouTube and watch camping? If you guys have channels, you want to drop your links in the comments, go for it. We like to help other channels grow. So you're almost there. So you're on your way to 1,000 subscribers. That's pretty cool. Yeah, when you first found Wendy, you were amazed. Yep, I was too. I was like, wow, this is crazy. This lady, I'm always envious of people who can talk and smile at the same time, because I can smile, but I don't know if I can talk and smile at the same time. And she just always has such a cheerful, beautiful smile and disposition when she's out camping. So it's just, man, it's so inspiring. I love it. Yeah, if you're here and you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we got to get to 1,000 subscribers here pretty soon. In the next, I would say, hopefully by the end of the year. Hopefully sooner than that, since we're just at August right now. So Juanita says, I don't really have a favorite place, as I've been to so many great places, but if I can find a place right on the beach, I'm pretty happy. There's lots of places along the Gulf, Louisiana, Texas, etc. Yeah, you know, I've seen some camping, Runaway Parents. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them. They live in, I think, Oklahoma, but I think they've gone to the Gulf possibly, or somewhere down there on the ocean, kind of near the ocean maybe, or maybe on the lakes, I'm not sure. But it just seems like it's just such open. That's one of the things I wish I could camp, is just somewhere open where I could see, because when you're camping here in Oregon or Washington, it's just, there's so many trees. It's kind of hard to see things. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love being in trees, but I like to see like landscape. Plus you can kind of see if there's some weird people sneaking around your campsite. So no YouTube channel for Juanita. Well, if you ever feel like you want to start one, you should start one, because it's fun. It's kind of keeps things interesting. Joseph, great point about smiling and talking at the same time. Never thought of that before. I'm always just amazed at how people can just always talk and smile. Maybe I'm doing it now, but I don't know. But yeah, I think I always have like a serious look on my face when I'm talking. So I have to remind myself to smile more. And Blackout Video, what's your alcohol drink of choice when you're camping? I don't drink alcohol when I camp. I'm not much of a drinker. Sorry. It's just not for me. And Joseph, maybe you'd like a prairie. Like a prairie, like a flat land prairie? Is that what you're referring to? Juanita says, Wendy Outdoors camps right on some beautiful beaches on Vancouver Island. Oh, she does. I love when she just goes to the beach and lights up her little stove and just makes tea. I think that is so cool. And she sits close to the ground. I could sit close to the ground, but I probably wouldn't be able to get it back up. So Joseph, oh wait, what's your zodiac sign? Blackout Video asks. I'm a Scorpio. But I'm not a psycho Scorpio. I think I'm fairly normal. And Joseph says, you don't have a serious face, just a contented one. That's fine too. No need to imitate. Well, I mean, I want to like be able to smile and just show you that I'm happy, because I am happy, but I do have kind of a face like that. I don't know. Yeah, flat land, grassland. I would think I'd want a few trees around if I'm camping, just for some shade if I need it. But I've camped, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Lake Powell down in southern Utah and northern Arizona, but there's no shade there, and you just camp right on the beach. So that's always fun, because you can kind of see your surroundings. But I would like to have some trees, I think, camping. Juanita, hi, I love seeing what new cooking or baking concoction Wendy Outdoors tries next. Yeah, I'm amazed at that little, I think she calls it a billy stove. I think that she bakes, I think she bakes lasagna in there that one time, and she puts coals on top, and she baked cookies, I think. She baked I want to say an apple crisp or something. I thought, wow, that's crazy. Here I am just, putting a marshmallow in the fire, thinking that's kind of difficult sometimes. Blackout Video, have you ever been camping at Clear Lake? I have not. Is Clear Lake in the Mount Hood National Forest? Is that the Clear Lake I'm thinking of? Or is that a Clear Lake up in Washington? I can't keep track of all the lakes. There is a lake I want to go camp at, or camp near. It's, I think it's called Little Crater Lake, and it's more like a pond. There's a campground, I think south of that, and it's in the Mount Hood National Forest, and it's crystal blue. The water is just incredible. Clear Lake is about an hour north of Detroit Lake. Okay, I kind of thought it was up somewhere in that area. I haven't been there. I haven't explored the east side very much. I was going to, last July, I went to Trillium Campground at Trillium Lake at Mount Hood, and that was pretty awesome. But that's a hard campground to get a spot at, so I had to book that months and months in advance. And so I was looking on the calendar for this summer, and I was way too late. There's nothing available there. But I was telling the chat earlier that I was supposed to go to Mount Hood area, excuse me, in July last month, but all the wildfires and the heat just kind of kept me from going. So I haven't been camping in about, I would say, 6 weeks or so. And that's actually the longest that I've gone without camping since I've been filming my camping videos. So it's time to go camping. Plus that 3-night camping trip, it kind of burned me out a little bit. Plus it was so hot on that trip. So, and it seems like there was a fire at Detroit Lake, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. Do you recall that blackout video? It seems like there was a fire in that area. Juanita, California coast also has some incredible camping spots. Yeah, if you, she's not here in the chat tonight, but if you look up Adventure with Jay videos, she camps on the California coast a lot. She's camped at a couple popular spots, really pretty. Joseph, Tori, I think it's marvelous that you did a 3-night trip. Did you feel very relaxed or were you glad to get home? I would say I was relaxed on the 3rd night. The first 2 days, it was pretty warm out. I was still relaxed, but it was just too hot, even at 7 o'clock at night, because I had the fire going because I was grilling for the first time. So it just made everything hotter and harder. So, I mean, I did relax, but the 3rd night is when it finally cooled off, and it actually rained that night. So it was really relaxing. I kind of wish I would have stayed outdoors more during that trip, but I didn't really have much protection from the rain. So I didn't want to, and plus my camera's not waterproof. So let's see here. And I was, by the time rain hit that night and I got camp, you know, put away in the morning, I was ready to go. I don't know if you saw that video, but you could probably tell I was like, you know, it's time to go home. And it was 8:30 in the morning. So thank you, Ashley, for posting her link. Let's see, blackout video. Yeah, the fire was near Mill City as well. My dad and stepmom had to stay with me for about 5 days. Lucky their home wasn't harmed. Oh, that's good. But man, I don't know if you guys have seen all the wildfires, like in Washington, up in Spokane. A ton of people lost their homes. It's so sad. Ashley, you can put your link too. You guys need to check out Stealth Camp Sweethearts. Their stealth camp videos. They're so funny. I think it's got to be so much easier to film a camp video when you have someone there with you. Because the hardest thing about camping by yourself when you're filming is just like entertaining, like talking. It's kind of hard, to be quite honest. You kind of have to carry on a conversation to the camera, and you just have to think, okay, there's somebody on the other side of that camera that's talking to you. And that's really the only way I look at it, is, you know, having a conversation with my lens. So yeah, but what I was trying to say is Ashley and Michael, the Stealth Camp Sweethearts, they just mesh so well, and their banter is really funny, and their skits are really funny. So go check out their channel. Let's see here. Ashley says, yes, I don't know how you do it alone. You're a brave sister. You know, I was kind of nervous on my first camp trip, but I got over it pretty quickly. And then you know, when you do things by yourself, it just gets easier. So you should try sometime. You might like it. And you know, I've been traveling on my own for 30 years, so that part is somewhat easy. But camping, that's a whole new ballgame by yourself. But Joseph, you mentioned Bigfoot. Do you believe in him? You know, I think I do. There's a lot of evidence out there that Bigfoot exists. I mean, I've never seen a Bigfoot, but I did have that experience in the spring on that forest road. I don't know if you saw that in my last video, but just things happen that are just, you can't really explain. And I've seen videos where there's tree knocks and whoops and weird noises, and so there's something out there. If it's Bigfoot, it's Bigfoot. If it's something else, I don't know what it would be. So, and Stealth Camp Sweethearts. Oh, when you moved the trees when they were back, when you turned around, it was a wild. Yeah. So if you hadn't seen that video, I went up this gnarly forest road in my car, which was a mistake. I should never have gone up that road. And I got to a place where there were branches that were placed in the road. Like they weren't, I don't think they were blown into the road. Like it just looked like they were placed. So I got out, and I have footage I played in my last video. I moved them out just in case there was a sharp branch, because my tires, they're not, heavy duty tires. And went up the road a ways. I had to turn around, came back down, and they were back. Well, some of them were back in the road. So I had to clear them again. So that was kind of a weird experience. I don't know. And there's nobody up there. So there wasn't somebody, sneaking around the road. It's kind of remote, off the main forest road. So that was kind of a weird experience. So who knows? I don't know. Let's see here. Joseph, I saw that, yes. And then you also said, is there a Mrs. Bigfoot and some little foots? Like, are you asking if there's a family of Bigfoots out there? Or are you referring to something else? And did you guys see my little Bigfoot Benny? He's my little plushie. So I thought it would be kind of a fun little game to hide him in my videos when I go into Bigfoot country. So if you see any of my last 3 videos, if you see Benny, just, put a comment in the video of the timestamp that you saw him. So Joseph says, you're right, Tori. That was strange the way they were put back so quickly. Yeah, I wasn't up there on that road very long. Like I went up maybe another, like less than a quarter mile, maybe an eighth of a mile. And then I turned around and came right back. So I wasn't traveling very long. So yeah, it just happened quickly. It was very weird. So. So if you guys are here and you see a little subscribe button next to my picture, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It means that you're not subscribed, and I would love it if you would subscribe. I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers this year. And then I will have to work on my watch hours. So for those of you who don't have channels, in order to get a little cut of the ads that you see in videos, it's called monetization. You have to have at least, for the full monetization, you have to have 1,000 subscribers, and you have to have 4,000 watch hours from the last 365 days. So all the watch hours I got, last spring, they're gone. So it's kind of hard to kind of keep your watch hours going. So I've got a ways to go. So if you want to help make my YouTube dream come true, subscribe and watch my videos. That would be so appreciated. Joseph says, when you got out of the car to brush them away again, I thought that was very level-headed. I think I would have stayed in the car, but you were right to move them again. Yeah, if I had a big rig with super heavy-duty tires, I would have driven right over them, because it wouldn't have been a big deal. But the last thing I needed was some sharp branch just piercing my tire. My tires aren't, big off-roading tires. I mean, I'm in a car, so. But it's unfortunate that I couldn't get up to that top of that road because I think there are some cool campsites up there, but you know, maybe one day when I become monetized on YouTube, I can buy a truck and get up there. Okay. You guys, we've been here just a little over an hour, and I'll be wrapping up here pretty soon. I would love to stay all night, but my partner's downstairs waiting for me for us to kind of go have some dinner. So if you have any questions or if you want to say hello, if you haven't said hello yet, now is your chance. And if you want to follow me on my journey from going from campgrounds to dispersed camping, I would love to have you come along. So just hit that subscribe button and we will kind of work through this scary little adventure together. And if you already do dispersed camp yourself, you know, follow along and give me some tips because I'm a little nervous about going. I thought about renting an SUV for a trip just to go out and actually disperse camp in the actual SUV to see if that's a little stepping stone. So if you have ideas or tips on how to make that transition a little easier, let me know. And Joseph says, I'd say your channel will do well because it looks like you're enjoying yourself. People like to watch someone enjoying themselves. Well, thanks for the chat. Thank you, Joseph, for sticking around and saying hello from Ireland. I appreciate that. Thanks, Norlin. I'll see you next time. I'll have to remember your name. I'm bad with names, but I will, if I forget, just remind me next time. And hopefully we'll have another live stream here, I don't know, in the next couple months. We'll see. It's easier to have it when you have good Wi-Fi or internet service. So Juanita, thanks for the live stream. Nice chatting with you. Nice chatting with you too. Next time you're in Oregon, say hello. And it looks like we've got, what, 15 people watching right now? Do you guys want to see the coastal range? It's filled with smoke. That's why I'm here. If you're just popping in, we're just here at a hotel about 30 miles from the coast, the Oregon coast, just trying to get away from the heat because we don't have central AC. We have a portable AC, but that doesn't really do the job when it's almost triple digits. And there is wildfire smoke from the wildfires in Oregon and Washington. So I'll show you. Get my camera. Whoops. Okay, I don't know if you can see. I mean, the smoke is actually dissipating, but that's the mountain range there. Now you can kind of see there's a mountain in the center of the screen, but it's really hazy, so you probably may not see it on camera. But anyways, when the sun goes down, it'll probably, well, it may not be orange tonight because the wildfire smoke is going away, which is good. Okay, let's see. I'm using the back camera, so I can't really see if I'm in frame, except for I've got this phone here so I can see the chat. Blackout video, do I play video games? Nope, I do not play video games, sorry. No, I used to play video games when I was a teenager, but that was about 40 years ago. Back when they had, oh, what's that game called? Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, that was back, I'm not even sure what, was that on Nintendo? Yeah, I don't think video games are like that these days though. I'm assuming from your name, Blackout Video, that you probably play video games. Ashley played Sonic and Mario. What is Sonic? I don't recognize Sonic. I used to play Pac-Man on the actual, I don't know what it's called, like the arcade, like, not the arcade machine, but it was like a flat, like a table machine. And I think that was at the pizza place back in high school. So I played Pac-Man. Sonic the Blue Hedgehog. Never heard of it. Do they have camping videos? Like where you have like animals coming and stalking your camp, or crazy zombies. Blackout video, I'm more of a casual gamer. I have a few gaming videos on my channel, but it's mainly movie reactions and reviews. You know, I always wondered how reaction channels work when you're reacting to videos or like movies or music. I always wondered how the copyright actually works. Like, is that even allowed? Or is there a way around it? If you have some insight, I would actually kind of be interested in that. And Blackout video, if you want to drop your channel link in the video, in the chat, you can do that. I'm just curious, like if Super Mario Brothers, if the game, have they like modernized that game since it was out 30, 40 years ago? Because it was pretty basic back then, but I mean, back then it wasn't basic because that's what technology was, but it seems like it'd be pretty basic now if it was still the same game. Let's see, Blackout video. Movie reactions can be hard to edit, even when I only show 5 to 6 seconds of clip. The video could be blocked. It's happened to me twice so far, which is heartbreaking since it took forever to edit them. I always wondered if you had maybe 3 to 4 or 5 seconds that you could use without getting copyright strike. Because I like watching the music reaction videos, but I always wonder how they get away with that because obviously the music is copyrighted. Like I hear that you can speed up the tempo of music sometimes to avoid the copyright claim. I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I'm hoping some of these wildfires are able to be contained soon because I would love to go camping up in the mountains again before things start closing. A lot of the federal campgrounds up in the Mount Hood area, I think a lot of them close in September, I think. So, and I don't know. I think there's one, I think Trillium closes in October, so hopefully we can get to the mountains before the fall gets here. Because I've got some plans for the fall to go up to the Gifford Pinchot National Forest in Washington, because that's where I want to go and do my dispersed camping up there. So, and hopefully we'll have wildfires contained by then and the fire ban lifted. It probably won't be lifted for quite a while though. Okay, you guys, any other questions or any other links you want to drop in the chat? Anybody want to promote their channel, go ahead and do that. And then we are going to wrap things up so I can get down to meet my sweetheart. We can go have dinner. So if you can do me a favor and just like this stream, that will help YouTube kind of push this out to find more people who enjoy camping here in the Pacific Northwest. And if you want to, follow along with the dispersed camping journey, just go ahead and subscribe. I would love to have you join the journey, and hopefully I'll be camping here soon. I might try to find maybe one night up in the mountains of the coastal range. I don't think there are any fires up there that I'm aware of, so. Okay, let's see here. Blackout video, enjoyed the live stream. Have a wonderful evening. You too. Thank you so much for joining, you guys. We're going to finish off this live stream just with a beautiful view of the smoke outside my window. So you guys, thank you so much for joining the live stream. And I guess I will catch you next time. Hopefully we'll be camping soon. Thank you guys again. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful evening wherever you might be. Thank you. See you in the next one.